Thank you very much for transferring those of you who have. Thank you very much for waiting, those of you waiting. My name is James. Downstairs is our driver, Andy. I'm going to be your guide. But if you'd rather listen on your headphones for the automated languages, then I won't take any offence. Please do remain seated, and please no smoking or vaping. Bear with me 1 second, folks. Yeah, they switched, so now I'm on another bus up to Marble Arch, so guiding like that little stretch. Yeah, nice wearing headphones. It's been like that, hasn't it? Yeah, no problem. No worries. Well, I'm doing the nice wearing headphones. Alright, apologies for that, folks. As we head on down, we're coming up now to stop number 17 here. For the Houses of Parliament, the House of Lords and Westminster Abbey. Have a look at the news presenters here on the left getting ready. It's going to be a busy news day tomorrow because of the new budget being unveiled by the Chancellor. Looming over us on the right is the Victoria Tower, the record keeper's part of Parliament. We've got the House of Lords on the right here. This is the second largest unelected legislative chamber in the world. The only larger one than that is in China. The back of Westminster Abbey on the left here, where the old kings and queens are buried. and the front half here. So it's open to the public. You can go and see the amazing architecture inside, stretching from 1,000 years in the past. The first coronation took place here in 1070. Meanwhile, ahead of us now is the Central Methodist Hall, the largest Methodist church in the country. We're coming up now to stop number 18, our stop for St James's Park Station and Westminster Abbey. Here on the right used to be the headquarters of MI6. That's where James Bond used to go to work. There's a secret tunnel underneath this building that takes you round the corner to the St Ermin's Hotel, the House of Spies. It's where the spies would go for a drink after work and get their informants nice and drunk. Here it is on the right, the St Ermin's. If you head in the foyer of this hotel, you can see a glass case full of all the spy gear that the quartermaster or Q made for the spies during World War II. We've got an old school here on the left, the Blue Coat School. Look at the boy wearing the blue coat and the yellow socks. That's his old school uniform. What a nerd. Here on the left, this is the Taj Hotel, but it used to be known as St James's Court. If you looked through this archway on the left, you can see where Queen Victoria used to send her family to stay when they were visiting. Her grandchildren had been married off. Her children had been married off to royals around Europe so that her grandchildren would be in charge of all the different countries in the continent. She was the grandmother of Europe. Her favourite grandson was Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany. Here on the right, the Wellington Barracks, where the King's Guards will stay. They're the people in the tall bearskin hats. Palace. There it is, 775 rooms, 78 bathrooms, 300 clocks, 800 members of staff. It's got its own swimming pool, doctor's office, dentist, surgery, helicopter pad, tennis courts. According to some, it's even got its own branch of the London Underground. They've never confirmed nor denied its existence. And if you have a look on your right, you're going to see the Victoria Memorial with the golden statue of Victory up at the top there, or Nike. It's where the fashion brand gets its name from. So this is the official home for the monarch. It's the official home for King Charles III. Except you're not likely to find him in here, truth be told. So, he doesn't like being in London at the best of times. He avoids it when he can. And when he does come to London, he calls this the office, but he stays the night round the corner in Clarence House. Now, Clarence House is usually the home for the heir to the throne. Charles was obviously heir to the throne for quite a while, so he's not moved out yet. He will be moving into Buckingham Palace though, he has agreed, but we need to renovate it for him first. It's needed that renovations basically since the 50s. But now we've got the opportunity to do it, so we're doing it for him, nice up and proper. It's going to take 10 years and cost £80 million. The King is currently 75 years old. If he is still with us, God willing, at that point he can say he's too old to move house. But he's played his hand very well. What he's really done is made sure it's nice and ready for eventually his son to move into when he takes the top job. We're coming up now to stop number 19, 18. One of the two. We're coming up to a stop now for Buckingham Palace. Stop 19. Alright. Let's see if the King is in London. We're going to have a look behind us, because we're going to see the flag on top of Buckingham Palace. Once we get a clearer view, we'll be able to tell whether Charles is in or not. So if it's the red, white and blue Union flag, that means that Charles is away. If it's the Royal Standard, which is a different flag with a dark red, navy blue with gold, then that means he's in London. So let's find out. He's likely to be in for tomorrow. From what I can see, sadly, that is the red, white and blue. That means Charles is away currently. He's currently inbound. He's just been coming back from a trip to Australia and Samoa. He tends to be in London on Wednesdays because he has a meeting with the Prime Minister. I've just been forewarned that traffic in this part of town has been a little bit slow today due to a broken down bus and some roadworks. So we're coming up now to stop number 20 here for Victoria Station for the London Underground and Victoria Coach Station as well. Alright folks, we're going to get you lot down to the most exclusive residential neighbourhood in Europe. We're going to head into Belgravia. Now this is all owned by one family, the Grosvenor family. They've owned the land here since the 1800s. They still own the land. You can buy a house from them, but you have to pay them ground rent. You'll notice there's a house at the bottom of the road there behind the traffic lights with some bricked up windows. That's a throwback to when we used to have a window tax. A tax on the amount of windows that you had. The thinking being, the richer you are, the bigger your house, the more windows you have, and therefore the more tax you can pay. And that worked for a certain while until rich people started to brick up their windows as a way of avoiding paying tax. All of the houses here painted this special colour, Queen Anne white. A tin of Queen Anne white will cost you £50,000, and you can only get that from one person, Hugh Grosvenor, the man who owns all the land here. And you have to repaint your house this colour every 5 years. As we head into Eaton Square, this is where you can find some famous faces. Roger Moore, who played James Bond, used to live here. On the corner of the street here on the left, the home for the man who owns this whole area. That's where Hugh Grosvenor, the richest man in the world under the age of 35, lives. Belgrave Square coming up here. This is also known as Embassy Square. Let's see what embassies we can see. Norway on the right, Spain on the left. We've got Bahrain, Austria and Portugal ahead of us. In the park on the right you can find founders of famous states, Henry the Navigator, Christopher Columbus, Simon Bolivar. House number 7 on the left here professes to have 7 of everything. 7 toilets, 7 sinks, 7 TVs, absolutely. Alright, so we're going to make our way now to the busiest roundabout in London. On the right, the Peninsula Hotel, our newest luxury hotel. And on the left, the hotel with the most expensive room in London, the Lanesborough, where you can get a night in the Royal Suite for £27,000. And that doesn't include breakfast. There is a famous story, there's a famous photograph taken of this hotel. It's Michael Jackson dangling a baby out from the windows. In front of us we've got lots of war memorials. In the middle, the Wellington Memorial Arch. And then we've got one of the most controversial statues in London's history coming up. It's a memorial for the British troops who died during World War I. It's got a howitzer cannon at the top, but it's also got the first depiction of a dead Tommy soldier. The first depiction of a dead body on a statue in London. That's coming up on the right here. On the left we've got Kensington and Knightsbridge, where you can find Harrods, the luxury department store. That's a quick 8-minute walk away from our next stop. These silver gates here on the left are the Queen Mother Memorial Gates, unveiled to commemorate the life of Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon. This statue in front of us is Achilles from Greek mythology. Caused quite a stir because this is the first naked statue in London. Ooh la la. And we're coming up now to stop number 20 for Hyde Park, for Knightsbridge and for Harrods. Sadly, this is where I'm going to leave you, but we've got our audio commentary to guide you through the rest of the city. Before I leave you though, let's talk about this lovely park here on the left. This is the largest of the royal parks here in central London. At one point, wild hunting grounds, now tamed into a beautiful, well-maintained park. It's where the royal horses get trained along the sandy-coloured track on the left here, called the Rotten Row. They're currently setting up for the Winter Wonderland, which is a huge Christmas fair and market. And in 1851, this was host to the world's first World's Fair, the Great Exhibition, held in the biggest building in the world at the time, the Crystal Palace. It was there for 6 months. During that time, 6 million visitors came to visit. Lovely, thank you very much. Hyde Park now is also host to Kensington Palace Gardens, a dog graveyard, where you can find the gravestone that says, "Here lies Fido, who was more faithful than my 5 husbands." And it's where you can also find some beautiful statues, the Princess Diana Memorial Fountain, and a statue of Peter Pan. We've got Speaker's Corner as well coming up, where speech is always free. Every Sunday you can see huge crowds here to see speakers of all sorts, be they political, religious, comedic. In October of last year, 800,000 people gathered here for a peace march, the largest public demonstration in London's history. On the right, we've got the memorial for the animals who died in war, everything from the mighty elephant to the humble glowworm. And we're coming up to stop number 1, which is our stop for Marble Arch, Oxford Street, and where you can swap over for one of our Park and Palace buses for the Blue Line. This is also where I'm going to leave you. Thank you very much. You've been a lovely crowd. Enjoy the rest of your stay here in London, and do take care.
Marble Arch. gentil.
On va manger là-bas.
Hein?
On va manger là.
Où ça là-bas?
Quel pique-nique.
Bah peut-être si vous voulez. Hein? David?
Hein?
On va manger à Piccadilly?
Peut-être qu'il y aura des chewing-gums là-bas. Non. On va au magasin.
Assieds-toi bien, Léa.
Il a envie de manger son chewing-gum.
Voilà.
Portier à l'hôtel là, avant d'être célèbre. Et après quand elle a été célèbre, elle est revenue en tant qu'invitée. Et un jour, le manager de l'hôtel, il a voulu organiser un concours de sauce de Charlie Chaplin. Et il a demandé à Charlie Chaplin d'être juge de concours pour savoir qui était gagnant. Et en fait, Charlie Chaplin, il a participé au concours et il est arrivé troisième. Non, Léa? Non, Léa? Tu touches pas même arrière. Bah, je sais pas si c'est lui qui s'est dégradé. Peut-être le premier acteur connu. Tu sais, il a un chapeau anglais. Avec une petite moustache.
Ah voilà, non, ça c'est... Moi, ça c'est le truc.
Ouais. Portman et Massen.
Voilà, on va descendre là, les gars.
Alors,
இருந்தா பாருங்க போய் பார்த்துக்கலாம். இல்லையா நல்ல ஒரு இது ஒன்று வரும் பாருங்க முன்ன போய். இல்லையா பார்த்த இடம் வருது பாருங்க. இதான் பேர் இது கொஞ்சம் போக வேண்டிய இடம் வேற. இதுதான் மெயின் விஷயம். அது நைட்லேயும் வரணும் பகல்லையும் வரணும். தொண்டு செய்வாங்க இல்லையா? அது மட்டும் சாப்பாடு வாங்கிட்டு பக்கம் அங்கே போவோம் அவள் இந்த கடைக்கு. இந்த பிஸியோட போனால் தான் நல்லா.